Okay, now that we have this floor, as I said before, I actually create another one on the top, but you can select the floor and just copy and paste to selected levels and take it to the third, fourth, fifth, sixth. You probably have a different name again, and roof level, and say OK. And there they go, all upwards. Okay, now you could have avoided having this one delete, because actually we're going to place a roof there. So let's actually do the roof right now. Actually, before I'm going to do the floor that corresponds to this entrance space. So I'm going to go again to the second floor. I'm going to go to that specific space. Here we are. And I'm going to do floor structural, rectangle. Make sure that we are in the one we duplicated. Go with 8 inches offset from this point to that point there. Say OK. 3D. We'll fix that right after, but as you can see, it comes inside of the other floor. It doesn't really matter. Let's do the roof on top, and that actually comes here, this point. We're going to do a lap roof with these layers, or you have them actually here as well. So duplicate first, starting the insulation on metal deck. So I'm going to go to the floor, roof level, which is the top. I'm going to do an architectural roof by footprint, draw a rectangle, and do 8 inches of an offset, but we need to set this insulation metal deck, EMP, and we need to duplicate it. Okay, we're going to call it, it's not steel truss, insulation and building tab 3, for example. Say OK, and edit it till we have this ingredient. So there's a copper finished floor. Actually, this is for the HM. Wait, we're dealing with this one for the lab. So we have a roofing membrane. Let me see how similar is. Good. 1/4 inch, 5, 1/4, 5. We have a concrete lightweight structure, 4 inches. So that's going to be in different order. So we're going to say up. It's going to be a concrete lightweight, 4 inches. So we change this. We search for concrete lightweight. Say OK. It's going to be 4 inches. And 1/4 of a metal deck, which is what we have here. Let me see again. 5. Good. Say OK. OK. And again the rectangle. Okay. Whoever has done roofs in their house already remembers what this symbol is. So you can escape this point, select them all, and get rid of the symbol so we don't have a slope in the roof. You probably remember that. Otherwise, I'll repeat it in a second. You say define slopes, the symbol disappears, and you say OK. You go to 3D, and there you have it right there. Okay. I'm going to do the roof for that little place, which is in the 3rd floor. Here's something you can do for the future. If I'm in the 3D, I can select the roof, right click, say create similar, and you can go now to the 3rd floor and create the same rectangle, give it 8 inches offset, and snap to the grid again. Say OK. And here, for example, I did not change. Oh, that's weird. So say 3rd floor. I did not say change the roof angle, so you can always edit the footprint afterwards and change those to non-defined slopes. And OK, that looks good now. So again, this has to be a roof, this has to be a roof, and these are floors. So again, the problem to solve now is that we see the beams going through the floor. So I'm going to do in the 3D, selecting all those beams. I'm going to go here. if you do something like I just did and starts thinking like a lot, just, you know, whatever it does, if it crashes or whatever, just Control C, go back. What I did is try to select this, but I actually moved the facade, so just, you know, that's why I actually normally hide this facade so they don't bother me too much while I create this. Okay, now select these beams, press Control, hold these beams, filter, make sure you only have the framing. You can double check to see that you're selecting only the beams. And now we have to take it down 5 inches, which is the dimension of the floor. No? So minus 5 inches. Oops. 5 inches. And they come down all together. The best place to see whether this change was effective or not is in the sections. So if you go to the section and you scroll in and you probably go to TL, meaning thin lines, your floor should be exactly aligned with the top of the beam, both in elevation and in section. So that looks good. Probably here it's not that well done, because actually the roof level, the roof is always located on top of the roof level. So we can take this one and offset it, see what is the overall dimension. Is 9.5. If you don't want to count because you're lazy, you can always say DI for dimensioning and measure this here and see 9.5. You can take the roof and just offset it down minus 9.5 inches. So go down. Now we have to fix the beams as well. Let me take this roof as well. Minus 9.5 inches. Go to the 3D, and here we have the problems we had before. So selecting all this, filter out everything but the beams. You double check that you're selecting only the beams, and you take them down minus 9.5 inches. Copy, which is again the dimension of that roof. But we have to do it here as well with this other roof. Select all of these elements. I'm going to press Control to deselect, sorry, Shift to deselect these ones, which are properly placed. Filter out everything but the framings. Double check that you only have the beams. Minus 9.5 inches. Control C, Control V, and they come down nicely. If you want to be picky, you see the columns are going all the way through the roof. We normally don't want that, so you select the columns. In this case, there's only these 4, and the bottom level, the base level, you set it to minus 9.5 inches as well. No, not the base, sorry. The top. Offset minus 9.5 inches. Same for these columns. Minus 9.5 inches. Okay, good time to save. Take a look from the outside how this looks. Starts looking smooth and nice. Probably we have a problem here, as you can see. This roof comes inside of the other floor, so you can select, say, Edit Footprint. You have the line there, but you can go to the, for example, the 3rd floor, and with the Align tool, AL, you can start aligning things properly. So set it there. Set it there. So it moves it. Say OK. 3D. Now this floor the same way, edit boundary. You can even do it in the 3D AL, and you select to this face this line, and to, actually we don't see the axis there, so we go to third floor, align to this line, this one. Okay. 3D, up. I guess it will come later. Okay, save. Doing good. Okay, we place last floor in lab for a lab roof. We did the lab roof, create roof, duplicate as blah blah blah. We mentioned all these steps. Do the same for the small center building. That's what I also did. Do the same for the gym building. We're going to create another roof for that one. That's exactly the same. So let's do that. So what I can do is select the roof, right click, create similar. We go to the top of the roof of the gym, which is gym roof. Gym roof, double click, rectangle, 8 inches, and again from the axis, make sure the base level is gym roof. I don't know why it doesn't change it there as well. Rectangle with 8 inches offset to that place. Again, we have, if you keep it like that and say OK, you get this monster. If you want to do that, it's weird, but you have to actually make it flat here. So edit footprint, select the lines, get rid of the slopes, say OK, and there we go. Just turn on everything to see where we are. Pressing tab, control, tab control, right click, and hide elements. Things start looking good. Save. Okay. The next step is going to be actually how do we deal with the extruded roofs, and we're going to be pretty much there after we allocate the floor. That'll be the next video, and we do a break after that. So